David. I'm really, really happy to be part of the investor team. Talking about how to choose your long-term partner, I actually brought Thomas with me. Thomas is also part of the Innogy venture team, and he actually led the investment in GridX. For those of you who don't know Innogy Ventures yet, Thomas, maybe you want to start saying some words?
Sure. So thanks for having me here, first of all. So I will do our short pitch. Innogy Ventures is the venture capital arm of Innogy. We have 130 million euros as investment volume. We do Series A and beyond investments, ticket sizes around 1 to 5 million euros. Our focus is on new energy, smart cities, mobility, and IoT. We invest in North America, Europe, and Israel, so basically the hotspots, venture capital scene. Our team, as such, is based in Germany, in Berlin, and close to our headquarters in Essen. We see ourselves as a financial-driven investors, and we are currently building up our fund, and are super happy to have made the investment into GridX.
Thank you.
Like you just said, you just closed your Series A. Maybe you want to say something about the process. How did it go?
Overall or just with Innogy?
Overall, first.
Okay. Overall, I think, one thing I learned was, investors have just limited time when it comes talking to startups. I think that's the same for startups during the fundraising process. And investors, they think pretty much in patterns. So that was, I think, quite hard because I think energy is not like the hot topic for all other non-related energy investors. So I think that's what was a problem in my opinion because they have somehow to break out of their behavior and not thinking of like, okay, I have already seen a business model running for, I don't know, e-commerce startup. How can I take it and put it to an energy startup? So I think, as startup as well, we have to work on it to make it more easier for non-energy investors to understand the whole market and the business models.
So before giving the other questions to Thomas, that sounds like you've made some really funny experiences. Maybe there's something that you can share? There was one example. We talked to like a well-known European VC, and he wanted to give us a term sheet or the whole company. And then we found out he thought that we are doing like blockchain because it was decentralized energy. And so I think that was like a learning. It's important to communicate quite clearly what decentralized energy is. We all love blockchain. Thomas, how was the process for you from your side?
So actually the first time we got in touch with GridX was via Gründerszene, an article.
Nice.
And we thought, okay, that sounds interesting. And a couple of days later, basically, a VC from our network approached us and asked on our opinion about GridX. And we got in touch. And basically, it clicked right away in that sense that we share the same vision of a decentralized digital energy world, and GridX wants to become a significant player in that world. Then we think that the timing was right, so we know that the market is still in development, but we really feel that something is changing in the moment, and the time is right for a startup like GridX. And last but not least, the team, and especially in the team, the technical capabilities. And this is really what moved the needle for us in the end, as once we realized what you have achieved in a very short period of time from the technical backbone, and I mean the whole package, like back-end, front-end, and the GridX. And that was actually, in the end, one important decision.
You're applying for a new VP of sales at GridX. I think that you can do that if you guys are ever looking for one. Now, David, I remember that there was quite some competition on the deal, and why did you actually choose us?
Besides your style?
The hair, yes.
No,
Of course, we talked to a lot of VCs and we're quite far. And then I think what was clear for us at the beginning, we don't want to have any strategy partner or investor on our side. And then we got the introduction to Innogy Ventures, and there's like Innogy in the name. And was like, oh, shall we talk to them or not? And then we had like a first call. And yeah, you know, sometimes it's just like gut feeling. And then we had our first personal meeting in Aachen. So the whole Innogy Ventures team came to Aachen, to our office. And then we found out, okay, that's a team of founders, of guys who really understand how to build up a company. They understand the challenges. And of course, they have expertise in the energy market. And that's quite important for us. Yeah, and then of course, at the end, there's like the huge energy corporate network we can use in case we want to, but there's no necessity, we don't have to do it.
Thank you. That's lovely. Now, looking at the title, how to choose your long-term partner, or why to choose it, I presume there are in the audience quite a lot of companies that are at a similar stage that you were in late 2017. So what are the learnings, the takeaways that you would like to share with others that are in a similar situation?
Yeah, I think the key learnings, preparation is the alpha and omega. So before you go to raise your funds or to go to the next financing round, do everything in advance, because if the fundraising process is picking up, you don't have any chance to make big backup slides and anything else, analysis. So I think preparation is one thing. And the other thing is invest a lot of time in your own network, speaking to other founders, that's very important, to other investors, because I think that's the foundation of your future success as a businessman. Yeah, so use events like today for building up your network and speak to investors, to founders, and yeah, we are like all in the same team.
So when like one of the companies listening to that is hearing that and says like, well, David, I'd like to learn more, can they just simply approach you?
Of course, yeah. Just contact me later, and I would love to talk with you more about your ideas or venture capital companies, whatever. Yeah, of course, at any time.
Perfect. Please actually use that opportunity. Thomas, now from your expertise or from your learnings, you are the energy guy within our team. What are the learnings also from the GridX process, or also advice that you can give to others?
I would build it up in 2 dimensions, so process-wise, or perhaps also, yeah, which partner to choose. So perhaps starting in the second one, I think that there should be 4 things which come together, and I think in our case they did. So the first one is to share the same vision and alignment of incentives. So we have the same vision of a decentral energy world, want to be part of it. And we have the same vision for what we can do with GridX. The second one is that there should be an understanding of market dynamics, and I think that builds on what you said, that you know the energy market is special, right? So it's a good example. So that you know how this market behaves, that a lot of things is dependent on regulation and decisions which are still to be made in that sense. The market is evolving, so that you have a patient and you know what can the company control, what can you control, or which is outside of your control. The third one, there should be a team fit. I think when you don't have a connection with your investor, the process will be difficult. And the last thing is that you bring more on the table than money, from an investor perspective, that you can somehow leverage network and bring it together with other investors, helping with further rounds, or in our case, perhaps leverage the connections to the business. And from a process perspective, it's also building on what you said. We have no idea about the startup, so there's information asymmetries everywhere. So as if you can help us to bridge that and you prepare in advance and make it as transparent as possible, give us comfort that we have a good also feeling that we understand your business and nothing is hiding. Also share the not so good things, that I think in the end it brings you closer to a deal.
So any startup here in the audience, or maybe listening to Ecosummit TV or watching that, can also just contact you and like ask questions, even if they are in like seed phase or something like that?
Absolutely. I think it's like a marketplace. I think the Ecosummit is the best example. So we need you as much as you need us, hopefully. So yeah, sure, every time.
Perfect. So, well, I'm really happy to be part of the GridX family by now. Thank you, Jan, for the lovely show. Thank you, David. Thank you, Thomas. And enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.